EW On Demand, checking in live today for members only. We are at Fogo de Show in Addison, Texas. This is an amazing location. This is actually the first location in the U.S. for Fogo de Show. Today we're interviewing Anita Hawkins here at Members Only. Follow me in, let's check out the place, have some good drinks, let's talk, let's laugh, let's have a great time. See you in a minute, all right? Ms. Hawkins, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am absolutely amazing. Thank you for asking, and thank you for being here for Members Only. You are the best of the best, so this is why you're here. And before we get rolling, I think we need to break the ice with a little bit of Grey Goose.
Okay.
I got 2 shots for us.
Okay.
So we got a little lemon wedge on the side with some sugar coating with some simple syrup.
Okay.
It's kind of fun. It's a little bigger than a shot, but
it's a lot bigger than a shot.
Well, they say everything's big in Texas, right?
Right.
Okay.
This is true.
All righty. So we're going to start our little journey off like this right here.
Okay.
Boom.
You know, we got to redo that.
Okay.
Because they say when you do a cheers, you're supposed to look the individual in the eye.
I've heard that before.
Yes, you're supposed to look them in the eye.
Okay, so let's try that again.
Because we're supposed to speak what we're cheering to. What is it? This is in cheers to what?
So here's the fun fact.
Okay.
This ain't the cheers.
Okay.
But
this is a start.
This is a start.
This is a start.
Cheers to a great interview.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Very refreshing.
Very much so.
Yes, ma'am. So once again, thank you for being here. It's been a long time since we were able to see each other and sit in front of each other and talk.
Yes, it has.
I've always admired your story, your passion, your hustle, just everything that you embody. You are definitely one of the country's biggest philanthropists. My question to you first is, how do you define philanthropy? Is it just donating and walking away? Is it donating plus being active in that brand you're donating to? Like, what does that entail?
Philanthropy is an attitude of servitude.
Okay.
Most people don't know what that looks like. And I've been the person that I've had the capability and the opportunity to be able to introduce those that have not walked in servitude, to give them the doors to say, okay, I want to go and serve. So when I learned, I guess I started serving the homeless. Oh my God, that was probably back in 2007. And I was trying to figure out a way to bridge the gap, like what was missing. And I've worked with so many different great organizations. Before I even launched my nonprofit, I wanted to go in and serve, period, point blank. It was nothing else. It was just serving. What can I do to assist, to help, whatever it was. They say boots on the ground, boots on the ground, you're in there. So it's not just money, it's your time. It's a lot of your time. It's being vocal, meeting the clients, meeting the people that are there that really, really need your services. So you're coming in and you're trying to make sure that you're rolling out the red carpet and you treat them like people. They are people, and they don't get that all the time. So making sure that you're good to everyone and bringing other people in to show them, hey, this is easy. This is something you can do maybe once a month. It doesn't have to be every day, every week. Once a month is just giving up your time.
Would you like to speak on some of the organizations that you're affiliated with?
Absolutely. I have worked with Minnie's Food Pantry. I have worked with the Source of Hope. I've worked with, Where Are You? I've worked with Keeping Families Connected. But I also worked with St. Jude. I was over the Dallas committee for a number of years. I really, really enjoyed that. So there's so many different organizations, but of course, my own organization, Find One Reason to Smile. Yeah.
And what was the motivation for launching Finding One Reason to Smile?
And I kept this one to the end. I knew you were going to ask me that question. I figured you were going to ask me that question. I worked with, still worked with Deborah Bowles with Women Called Moses. And I went home and it came to me in the shower. Things started coming. I started seeing all these things and I jumped out of the shower. God gave me Find One Reason to Smile. And I went on the internet to search for the domain, and it was available. So I got the domain immediately, and I called Deborah and I was like, I'm gonna do Find One Reason to Smile. And she said, okay, well, what is that about? And it's about people sharing their stories, because it was because of her that I was able to be transparent in sharing my own story. And I ended up writing my first book. But all of this was birthed because of Deborah Bowles. And I ended up, before, I was not a nonprofit originally when I first launched Find One Reason to Smile, but people knew what I was doing with other organizations. So they said, we don't care. I said, I can't give you a write-off. And it was, we don't care. We just want to serve, and whatever you're tapped into, we want to be a part of it. And I ended up raising money for Deborah Bowles. That was my first fundraiser, with people just sharing their stories that had never shared their stories before. Stories of triumph, stories of trials and tribulations. Okay, well, I'm not by myself, because there's so many people that think that they're alone in the things that they're going through. So people were able to share their stories. I raised, I think about $15,000, and I matched it, and I wrote Deborah a check for like $24,000. So she didn't know who I was at the time when I launched Find One Reason to Smile. She didn't know who I was. She knew of me, but she didn't know me. So I was seeking her out to give her this check, and she said, people don't chase me down to give me money. You know, people are always needing, but it was, what can I do for you? And I presented her with a check, and she was like, oh my goodness. But years later, I ended up purchasing a safe haven in South Dallas in the name of Women Called Moses.
Wow. So is it safe to say the first chapter was philanthropy, then from there becoming an author?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And the title of your first book?
The Storm After the Storm.
Yeah.
Yes. The character in the book, her name is Storm. Her name is Ere, but it means storm. And it's who she is after a life storm of events. And a lot of people didn't know that it was my story. And, is it fact? Is it fiction? I said, actually, it's a little bit of both, because it's factual based on the things that happen in my life. But the fictional parts, of course, are the names, the characters that I had to make up, to protect those that probably didn't want me to write the book, that had a lot of issues with me coming out with things that happened in my life, but it's my story. And I was able to birth something out of pain, but I needed that. I needed that. It was therapy. It was so much therapy for me. And it took me a while as I would stand before people and they would ask me to read, bits and pieces of the book. And when I first started, I would always cry. I would always be in tears because I felt like I was reliving all of those moments again and again and again. But I got stronger every single time, and able to share parts candidly versus out of pain. So, I tell people all the time, you can't live in victimization and be victorious at the same time. You have to choose one. So I choose victory.
Some of the best things are established out of pain.
Absolutely.
As crazy as that may sound, a lot of great things come out of the pressure and the pain, and it makes us who we are. And we're thankful for you creating these books. In your second book, Owning My Shyt.
Actually, that's my fourth book.
Oh, that's the fourth book. Excuse me.
I after the storm after the storm, I relocated to LA for 3 years.
Okay.
And while I was there, I went through, I think, a year stint of depression. But I started writing. And when you go through your storm, and I didn't realize that, in writing, that it would be like kind of a series, but you have to go through the storm, right?
Yep.
And after the storm, there's a breakthrough. And I learned in my breakthrough, and that was a compilation book that I did with Les Brown and Johnny Wimbrey and some other great authors, but I was able to do the breakthrough.
Okay.
And my chapter is called The Power of the Ask. There's so much power in asking. And I did not know that I had a fear. That was my breakthrough, was realizing that I had a fear, because people would ask, okay, what do you fear? I said, I don't fear nothing but God. I don't have a fear. And I went to a few events and people were asking me about my nonprofit. And they were saying, well, why didn't you ask for help? Or why didn't you ask for assistance? Or if you needed certain things, why didn't you ask? And I said, I don't know. And I really couldn't give an honest answer. It was just, I don't know. And the following week, after the first person asked, somebody asked me again, why didn't you ask? And I said, I don't know. I went home, I laid out, I prayed, and I shouted to God. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why am I not asking? And it dropped like a ton of bricks. And it was, you have a fear of asking. And it was not because of rejection. It was because of everything that had been taken away from me in my childhood. So through child molestation and rape and abandonment and teen pregnancy, there were so many things that I needed. And when I needed something, it was always, what are you going to do for me? It was never, I can help you. It was, if you need something, you got to give me something. And I always felt like I always had to give a piece of me away. So I just stopped asking for help or assistance. So it became a learned behavior over years. And that was my breakthrough.
What advice can we give women, little girls, men, and little boys who've experienced the rape, the molestation? How do we move forward? You know, because so many people have experienced that and they've not dealt with it. And as time goes by, it pours into other chapters in their life and it destroys great situations. So my question is, you know, what advice can we give anyone that goes through that?
To talk, to share, to release yourself from self-bondage. I was in my own self-bondage. And I realized that in writing, I felt like the shackles were removed immediately. And I didn't, you know, we walk in fear and we worry and we care so much about what everybody else thinks. But what about me? We have to start focusing on us. You know, when people use the word selfish, I said, no, I'm self-full because right now I need to fill me up. I need to fill up self. I need to be selfish. If you say selfish, okay, but I say self-full. So right now for me, I need to fill up my cup because a lot of times we walk around totally depleted and we give so much of ourselves to everybody. And there's never enough left for you. So in having those conversations, whether it's groups, and I went to therapy. A lot of people don't go to therapy. They don't believe in therapy, especially in the African American communities. It's like, I'm not crazy. No, it's not about being crazy. We know you're not crazy, but you need to be in a safe space because you can't share everything with everyone, you know, and you have to have someone that can walk you through those steps of healing because it's a process. It's not going to be overnight. It may not happen in 1 year, 2 years. It may not even be 20 years, but you have to give yourself the time to heal because people that have not experienced that really don't understand it. So you have to make sure that you either talk to someone that has had some done did it's, that's been there, that has seen it, that has walked through it, that has dealt with it in order for them to help you through it. Or again, get some professional counseling and therapy. That's very important.
Mrs. Hawkins, your story is deep and I need to take me a sip of my drink, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Wow. I love your wisdom and your insight.
Thank you.
I really do. You are a light in the midst of darkness. Wow. And we need more like you know?
I've been told that before. People ask all the time, well, how do you always smile? I said, for me, I would say it's agape love. Forgive. We have to forgive, and not just forgiving others. We have to forgive ourselves. We have to forgive ourselves for the simple things, just overeating. If you look at yourself in the mirror and you know you're unhealthy, oh my God, I forgive you. I'm so sorry for doing my body like this. When, you know, I went down the road of promiscuity. I had to look in the mirror and forgive myself. And I used the word in my book, I felt like I gave myself away like a steak on a silver platter because I did not know anything but that. I went down the road of promiscuity. Everyone that has those experiences, especially those types of traumas, they deal with different vices. Some people become alcoholics. Some people, choose drugs. Some people overeat and become obese, because that's that comfort, so you just never know what someone's story is. So before you judge, make sure that you're open to be able to say, like, how are you? And people don't ask that enough, like, how are you?
Not enough.
Right. How do you feel today? Or
Right.
just picking up the phone, how you doing? You're on my mind. I just want you to know I'm
Just
thinking
checking
about
on
you.
you.
I love you. I'm
Yep.
checking on you. I may appear strong on the exterior, but we all have something going on the inner,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
that love, I can give myself self-love all day long, but it feels good to be thought about. That feels great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we switch lanes. Philanthropy, amazing author, fashion, modeling.
Yes. I've done that my whole life.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. My grandmother put me on the runway when I was 3.
Wow.
Yeah, my grandmother was a seamstress.
Okay.
She had the first interracial beauty college in the state of Indiana. She had a barber school. I was brought up in that world.
Yes, ma'am.
In the hair care and just everything fashion. My grandmother was a socialite, so
Yes, ma'am.
there was nothing that I was not a part of.
And being that you come from a lineage of cosmetological excellence, what does the hair industry mean to you?
For me, it's not about doing hair. It's about hair care.
Okay.
You hear a lot of people, I do hair, I can do your hair. Nah, I don't want you just doing my hair. It's about hair care, and we don't have enough of that. We don't have enough of the conversations. We want to spend money on weave and wigs and, all of the extra stuff. But what about what God gave you? We have to take care of our mains, and people don't educate on that anymore. Even
Can you say it loud for the people in the back?
Right.
Come on with it.
They don't educate on hair care anymore. It's, I'm gonna slap a wig on or slap some weave on, but nobody's talking about the friction and you losing, your sides, and, even with babies, when, the first thing they do when you get a little bit of hair, they want to yank it up and pull it in ponytails, but you're weakening the edges of the hair. You're weakening, and giving the baby the opportunity to even freely grow their hair the way it's supposed to grow, their growth hair patterns. And there's so many things that nobody talks about because, okay, I just want to look, everything has to be in place. It has to be the best of the best, but let your hair grow, give it the opportunity to maintain, its own space first before you start dibbling and dabbing and everything else. So, people don't research products.
Correct.
There's so many chemicals and so much of everything. And I'm thankful, my daughter at 20, she's never had a relaxer.
That's amazing.
Never.
Wow.
So I've pressed her hair out, we do a blow dry press, whatever, but never, no chemicals.
Being that you are a lifestyle and nutritionist expert, how important is our health? And we talking about physical first, because we know we spoke about the mental side of it for the most part.
Yeah.
Physically, how important is our health to us?
I talk about this on my social media a lot. People ask a lot of questions because I love essential oils. Everything that I do is all natural, body oils, body wash, everything. I try and do, the least chemicals as possible. And what we eat, it's just like having a car. If I have a diesel, I can't put gas in it. If I put gas in it, it's not going to run properly. If I have a car and I put diesel in it, it's not going to run properly. If I need the oil changed and I don't go and get the oil changed, if I don't change the filters, there's so many things that we need to do with our bodies. God made our bodies a fine oil machine.
Fine.
And when I hear, and this was something that I didn't know until I, of course, obtained my certification. I've tried so many different fad diets and things like that over the years. And I hear people say, oh, I'm going to do a liver detox. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as a liver detox.
So they took my money at GNC?
Yes, they took your money. There's no such thing. Your body naturally cleanses the liver. There are some things that can help you be healthier, but there's no such thing as a liver the body cleanses the liver naturally. That's what it does. When you eat the right things, your body is going to do what it's supposed to do. So every time you have a meal, you should have a bowel movement. People don't realize that. It's like, okay, well, I may go to the restroom once every 2 days. That's a problem. That's where you need to give your body a break. That's one thing that you can do. You can give your colon a break because we eat steaks and chicken and fish and more steak and more of this and more, and we don't give our body an opportunity to get a break from breaking down foods. So when you talk about juicing is great. It's great because you're giving your body a break. So you're giving your system an opportunity to flush out some of those things that it hadn't flushed out before. My grandmother did colonics when I was growing up. So I love going to get a colonic. People don't go and do those things, but most times because they don't know about it. But you have all of these, again, different fad diets, and people want jump starts, and if you drink enough water, if you walk at least they say 10,000 steps a day, you do what you need to do, your body will do what it's supposed to do for you.
We're going to have to schedule a lot of interviews with you because you have so much wisdom and information to share.
Yeah.
I wish we could squeeze it all. Man, it's a breath of fresh air to sit in front of someone that is aware and understand, maintenance for your mind, maintenance for your body, loving yourself internally, externally. It's a beautiful thing. Tell me if this is a fact or fiction.
Okay.
You have a day named after you, or the Anita Hawkins Day?
Anita Hawkins Day, yes.
What? I want a day.
Right? You can get a day.
Okay. Just give me the steps.
Just give me the steps.
Yeah. So when did this happen?
This was, what was that, last month, I guess?
Okay.
2 months ago, month and a half ago or so, yeah.
So what does this day entail? Is it like we come and get free food, or?
Well, no, it was just an Anita Hawkins Day, and the Arboretum, I had an event at the Arboretum. I was able to bring friends and family and had it set up where, we had food and little cheese tray and all that good stuff, but just hanging out and enjoying each other on Anita Hawkins Day.
So we got Anita Hawkins Day. What are some of the other awards we got?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I can't remember.
Can't remember.
All the awards. No.
Wow.
Let me see. I've gotten an award through 10 Shades of Success.
Yep.
I've gotten an award. I got the Philanthropy Award from Barack Obama. What other awards did I get?
How you forget that?
I've gotten a lot of awards. I don't know, but they've all been, because they've all really been geared towards philanthropy. They really have. They've been geared towards philanthropy. But I have gotten a lot of awards.
Wow.
I have, and I don't remember. I have to be honest, I don't remember them all. But Barack Obama Philanthropy Award.
If you don't remember anything else, remember Anita
Yeah.
Hawkins Day. And what day is this, so I can put this on my calendar, like forever? Like it just gives me my notification alert every year. And
You said forever?
forever. What day is this? Like seriously, I need to put this in my phone.
Are you serious?
As a heart attack.
As a heart attack?
Please believe it.
It's August 29th. Yeah.
The day legends are born.
The day
That's my birthday.
No, really?
That's my birthday.
Are you serious? Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, we got a lot of talking to do after.
Right.
Yeah, good deal. So speaking of awards, it's time to celebrate you. Cheers to you. We're going to bring the Anita in. How about that? We had a drink crafted, by our amazing bartenders, powered by Grey Goose.
Okay.
So I think it's a beautiful drink. And I think it's a mirror of you and your success.
Okay.
So you ready for the Anita?
Yes, I'm ready for the Anita.
Let's get the Anita. This is the Anita.
Okay.
Inside of the Anita, we have Grey Goose vodka.
Okay.
We also have a Ruza Rosé.
Okay.
Saint Germain elderflower liqueur.
Okay.
Blueberries and lavender.
Okay.
So,
That sounds good.
yes, ma'am. So before we dive into it,
Okay.
cheers to you, Anita Hawkins, for your story, your passion, the struggle, the pain, the pleasure, the profit, the drink, everything that has made you you. Please don't stop. Continue to be a light to the world, because in this time more than ever it's needed.
Yes, absolutely.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.